I mean, I think it's also important to know that Elon Musk genuinely is just a stupid person. He's just low IQ. Like, legitimately, he is just not, he's incredibly impressionable, and it seems like he can be swayed by basically anyone. It legitimately does seem like major decisions at Twitter are being done in response to random tweet replies. I want Juniper back. Like, now. What'd she get banned for? So Elon Musk removed the metadata, like the title and the subtitle, that is shown if you link an article. So now if you link an article, it's just like an image, which looks really dumb. And as a consequence of that, everyone was like, new evidence found in Elon Musk pedophilia case, something she did as well. And it got like 100K likes, and she got banned for it. I assume she got banned for that. I don't know what else it would have been for, you know? But like the idea, like Elon Musk is currently being sued for lying and saying that some like left journalist was a neo-Nazi or whatever. And the tweet that he made that's getting him sued over it is still up. Libs of TikTok constantly makes posts that leads to death and bomb threats against doctors and schools. And all those tweets remain up. And then an innocent little joke, not even a journalist, just a random guy. Oh, just a random guy. Just a random guy. He defamed some young Jewish guy, calling him a neo-Nazi who lived 3 states away. It ruined his life. The lawyer who took out Alex Jones is defending him. Nice. Yeah, and that's still up, you know? Oh, by the way, you want to know why? You want to know the actual reason why he got rid of the metadata associated with links? It's this. We know why now. Twitter is serving users with a new ad format that can't be blocked or reported, and they're not even disclosed as ads. Here's an ad format. See? This seems unbelievable, but it happens in Dubai every day. And then apparently they're also going to be removing the engagement underneath a tweet. So they're not going to show likes, comments, or retweets. They're only going to show views. That's not legal in the slightest. No, to my understanding, it is not legal. You have to disclose that an ad is an ad. So yeah, Twitter is just going to be full of this from now on. You can't block it. You can't remove it. It's just like, cool, now this gets to be interspersed. Every third tweet you look at gets to be this. Or this. If you suffer from ringing ears, you're going to love this recent breakthrough. And you know it's all going to be like absolute bottom of the barrel, like posts as well, because the only people who are paying for ads on Twitter are going to be like, is that baby oil? That says baby oil. Don't put baby oil in your ears to cure tinnitus. I don't think that works. I don't know for sure that that doesn't work, but I don't think that works. Kill the snail in your ear. Yeah. Baby oil is usually used to help swimmers' ear. I don't think it helps with tinnitus. Yeah, well, anyway, in case you were wondering why Elon removed the metadata from links and also seems to want to remove the likes, comments, and retweets under a post, it's purely so that Twitter can be like 50% this in a desperate effort to make back some money. The evaluation of Twitter has gone from like 44 billion to 8 billion or some shit like that. Like it's tanked in terms of profit and market viability. Wouldn't these types of ads just resemble bots, the thing he claims to want to get rid of so badly? Yeah, well, he obviously doesn't care about bots. There was a big report that was done a while ago that showed, it basically guaranteed that a significant portion of Elon Musk followers, like half of them, were bots. Accounts that have been made recently that had like random garbage tag names that had like no engagement on Twitter other than following or liking Elon Musk. And I don't know why on earth that wouldn't be bots. You know, the SEC is forcing him to testify when failed to appear for testimony on September 15th, did not comply with subpoena. Oh, they're not forcing him to testify. They're suing him to force to. Oh, okay. I assumed that by forced to testify, you meant a subpoena, which is how you force someone to testify, not suing because he didn't comply with the previous subpoena. Yeah. I assumed you meant subpoena, not court order. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no wonder he doesn't want to talk to the SEC. I wonder when like the EU is going to drop. Is this because of the unmarked ads? This is like 1,000 things. He's done so many things. It's related to how Elon got the money to purchase Twitter. After being sued by the SEC, Musk says he wants U.S. regulators to be punished. Agency has thousands of new documents. Various part hundreds produced by. Documents to what effect? Twitter was under a consent decree that they weren't allowed to add or change features without external review, but under him they did so a dozen times. That makes sense. I recently told this to a friend, but I absolutely think if Elon bought Twitter 1 year earlier, he would have suppressed leftists in Brazil and Lula would have lost the election. Capitalism is tyrannical. Oh, assuming that he hasn't been ousted by that point, you guys can expect that Twitter is going to be a major player in like disinfo peddling. Like Saudi Arabia is going to buy for $2 1 trillion ads that will appear indistinguishably alongside regular tweets, which are like all completely fake testimonials about how Biden personally like shot their dog or something. Like they've abolished their election misinformation team. Elon Musk is desperate for any kind of affirmation from the right and has played into them like as much as possible. Yeah, I saw this as well. That apparently Elon Musk's entire like game plan for Twitter has been eerily following what seems to have been a post created by a neo-Nazi. I don't know whether or not he actually saw it himself. There's just a lot that lines up, you know? There's just a lot of stuff. The Majority Report did a video on it yesterday. It was sent directly to him. It was sent directly to him. Oh yeah, text messages to Musk, revealed in the court filings last spring. Neat. I just don't know that he'd destroy his personal wealth to achieve that. I mean, I think it's also important to know that Elon Musk genuinely is just a stupid person. He's just low IQ. Like, legitimately, he is just not, he's incredibly impressionable, and it seems like he can be swayed by basically anyone. It legitimately does seem like major decisions at Twitter are being done in response to random tweet replies. Like, Ian Miles Chong will say just some inane horse shit in a reply, and Elon will go like, "Oh, of course," and then just do that. It's almost impossible to overestimate the extent to which Elon's direct involvement in basically any project is a negative one. He got ousted from PayPal because he insisted on calling it like X.com. You know, this has been his pet project for a long time. It's impossible to substantiate, but there have been multiple reports. By reports, I mean anecdotes, of course, of people saying like, yeah, so at Tesla and SpaceX and shit, like your job as Elon Musk's handler is to keep him from making decisions, you know? Like you like try to keep him from making direct decisions as much as possible, distract him with jingling keys or whatever. What is it with everything being X? Because the letter X is like a stupid boomer's idea of like neo future cyberpunk aesthetic. Like if you're like 55 or whatever, it's like jangling keys, you know, his obsession with small petty minor aesthetic flourishes. That's the level his brain operates on. Because X is like edgy, it's like future. Yeah, it's cool. Twitter just fired half its election integrity team. CEO Linda Yaccarino recently said that Twitter was going to expand the team that had just gutted. Man, can you imagine a cushier job than Linda Yaccarino? Everyone's like, oh man, her job must be tough because she has no power and Elon keeps doing the opposite of what she says they're going to do. But she has like no accountability, right? She can just say anything and she has a very legitimate excuse for Twitter making bad decisions because she can shrug and go like, I don't have any power. I am purely here to give the false impression of professionalism in an environment where there is none. She just sits there and collects money. Comes amidst other changes to the platform that removed the option for users to report disinformation and other misleading info to the company. Classic. Isn't he trying to make a LinkedIn thing on Twitter? I mean, he wants Twitter to be the everything app, but it's not going to happen. Like, it's not real. It's not going to happen. You know? My understanding, and I'm not sure on the details, but my understanding is that Twitter has already done a bunch of stuff that breaks the law. Like in the European Union, already multiple flagrant stated violations of their laws with regards to internet safety, regulation, privacy. And even in America, like running advertisements without announcing them as such, like this, like also unlawful, you know? So it's really just a matter of time until the hammer gets brought down. And this stuff does take time, but I really hope it happens before the election. I really, really hope that Twitter gets like crippled before the election because otherwise Twitter is going to be like the most aggressive sort of delivery mechanism for misinformation like ever seen in human history. You know fully well that Elon's day job is just going to be him looking at comment replies from neo-Nazis saying like, oh, actually, in order to defeat the bots, you should ban like these 76 left-leaning journalist accounts. And also, you know, you should like deregulate this and also this and that and the other. And he'll be like, of course. And then he'll just change that or just randomly start banning people, you know? Interesting. I mean, they've already warned him. Twitter was found to have the highest ratio of disinformation posts of all large social media platforms. Not surprising. Facebook was second worst offender. Can you believe Elon is so bad that in a single year, he managed to make Twitter worse for disinfo than Facebook? Remarkable. Genuinely remarkable. Facebook has like no moderation. Yeah, but Twitter has something worse than no moderation. Twitter has a person with complete power over the platform actively promoting all the worst information. Facebook is a wasteland, sure, but Twitter isn't a wasteland. It's a dictatorship, and the dictator likes misinformation. Elon will spend like a significant portion of his day, every day, liking or replying to or promoting 40 or 50 far-right accounts that are just lying. Looking into it. Hey, have you looked into this? He was doing this with like white nationalist German propaganda just the other day while promoting the AfD, you know? It's beyond, it's worse than having no moderation. The EU is particularly concerned about continued Russian propaganda on social media before key elections in Slovakia on Sunday and in Poland on 15th of October. Jesus Vosh. Yeah, that was the whole point of this. It only takes one oligarch to shift everything. Wait, Elon promoted the AfD, oh boy. Yeah, they did. Musk shares post calling for victory of far-right alternative for Germany party. He did so while fear-mongering over migrants entering Italy and Germany through the Mediterranean. Let's hope the AfD wins the elections to stop this European suicide. This is, by the way, open Nazi rhetoric. The idea of letting in non-white immigrants being a form of suicide is just explicitly Nazi rhetoric, indistinguishable because it is identical. There's no ambiguity or dog whistle. It's just what Nazis say. What website is this? It says at the top. I mean, I see that. It's a Jewish news site. I was just wondering what its disposition is. Haaretz is pretty progressive. Okay, just curious. Something that's also been somewhat overlooked by everyone talking about Twitter. Linda Yaccarino's Disastrous interview this week. The platform has lost millions of daily active users since Elon Musk acquired the company. Really? I haven't actually seen the so-called Disastrous interview.
Please welcome Linda Yaccarino.
Would you ever consider quitting Twitter? I mean, probably not me personally because I'm an influencer or whatever. I don't know. But, I mean, maybe past a point. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. There's no social media site that's like Twitter. Would I have to get TikTok? Speaking at Vox Media's Code 2023 tech conference earlier this week, ex-CEO, I keep seeing it and saying it, Twitter CEO Linda Yaccarino, I have to dead name, shared the company currently has 225 million daily active users, a decline in tens of millions, or 11.6% of users from just before Musk acquired the company. God damn. So that's a loss of about 20 million daily active users. That's huge. It sounds like you said ex-CEO as in she was fired. Yeah, it's almost like having a company be named after a letter is actually really stupid. Hi. Okay.
Worth of questions, but I want to make sure.
Response to Yo, we can't watch all of this, mostly because I don't want to. Let me skip ahead. Is engagement on X/Twitter declining?
I want to talk to you about the business and the issues of engagement, because I see a lot of data as a reporter at CNBC, and Apptopia, which tracks app usage, says the actual time spent.
I've drastically reduced my use of Twitter. I used to have a lot of fun on the site and find good stuff to talk about, but it's just a trash fire now. It is like objectively a worse place to spend time now. Even if you enjoy like bickering and engagement and what have you, I think the main thing that killed Twitter, at least for a while, because it looks like they've kind of rolled it back a little bit, it was blue check marks being given priority in every thread. It basically meant that anytime you were looking at a thread that wasn't just posted by a close friend with a small number of followers, it was guaranteed that at the top of every single thread would be a bunch of like bot, like 4IQ, like inhuman blue check responses, you know, that all sound like they came from a clipboard of maybe 5 or 6 permutations. Not like what was most popular or whatever. Then there's the read limits, the DM limits. There's the fact that like far right bullshit is more popular than ever. You know, it's gotten worse in like every conceivable way. The fact that you can't just see quote tweets immediately now, you have to click view engagement, then click on it. Like it's just worse in like every single way, you know?
On Twitter did get a post-Elon bump after that acquisition, but has tracked down all year since then. A new report out from Apptopia just this month says app downloads have sunk to new lows. It's in 96th place. And when it comes to usage, X is now 25th in active users, behind Telegram and even Samsung Clock.
Holy shit, it's behind Telegram? Wow. Holy shit.
So how can we reconcile what Musk has said about engagement the numbers you just cited with all of these different data points here?
Well, with over 540 million global users, I'd love to
Not daily active users, just global users, which could mean presumably that you stopped using Twitter back in 2014 and haven't picked it up since.
sift through, the data points that you picked out.
And they're really just tracks of app downloads
Yeah.
and engagement.
Yeah. But when you look at the length of time spent, the engagement on X right now, the key metrics are trending very, very positively. So if we want to talk about all the initiatives that have been put in place, like was covered in the previous interview about all the brand safety and content moderation tools that exist now, within my first 100 days at the company that didn't exist for the 8 years prior, formerly known as Twitter. I think those are the type of things we should be focusing on in terms of progress that has been made. Because in a just short 100 days-ish that I've been at the company, what had to happen was for me to, kind of get in, look under the hood. And when I realized and I looked at, because it's still a lot of learning, I mean, come on, it's 100 days. There's a lot of learning that's still going to go on, but the velocity of change, the scope of the ambition at X really does not exist anywhere else. Forget the other platforms. At any other company likely on earth, there is no analog for the book that is being written right now. So if you look at infrastructure.
So yeah, so I think it's pretty obvious from the way she talked, because this is all like corpo speak, technobabble. None of this means anything. Like, she knows fully well that things are going under. I like, her job basically is just to sit there and be a suit, right? Like, while Elon is chewing on wires back in the offices. Wait, context from this interview, she doesn't use Twitter. I did see this where it seems like she showed her phone to the audience, and it seems like she doesn't have Twitter on the front page of her phone. I mean, you have the alarm, the calendar, FaceTime messages. This is presumably the front app page of the phone, and Twitter's not on it, which is very funny. I mean, it has Signal's right here. Facebook's right there. Insta's right there. Extremely funny.
Changes. Over 100 products shipped since acquisition. Brand safety and content moderation tools that didn't exist. Advertiser products that did not exist that are now wrapped up in brand safety. Third-party verification partners that did not exist. The company that was...
This is boring.
And I want to get some of these stats. So you mentioned your...
It's been a day, so I brought my
You're welcome to...
I was supposed to put an X on it, but I was watching the interview, and I didn't have time.
Okay, so one question I have is, what are the daily active users that you have? Because that is the metric that Twitter was using before Elon Musk came over. And you mentioned the Sarah Eisen interview. What are your daily active users? And then also, you told Sarah you were nearing profitability. How close are you?
Yeah, well, that's so exciting. I'll get back to your first question.
Shot.
But what's so exciting is that from an operating cash flow perspective, we are just about break even. So the kind of other emotion.
No shot. They've lost a huge portion of their ad revenue that they have not reclaimed since. And the maximum possible amount of money they could be making through blue check marks is nowhere near enough to make up the shortfall. And Twitter was barely on that cusp before Elon took it over. There's no way.
That was painted in the previous talk.
Yeah, they're being sued over non-payment for rent, aren't they? Hold on. It's happened twice. Twitter faces lawsuit over unpaid office fees again. I don't know. Yeah, but Saudi investment banking them, breaking them even, Bosch. Yeah, if they are breaking even, it is probably because they are getting like outside cash flow.
Feel pretty good about where we are. And when I did the other talk that you said was in August, it was too soon. I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks in. I couldn't have eyes on even the rest of third quarter, let alone fourth quarter. So now that I have immersed myself in the business, and we have a good set of eyes on what is predictable and what's coming, is that it looks like in early 24 we'll be turning a profit. So that's exciting. I want to get back to another stat about 75%
Isn't
or
this kind of foreign influence the exact reason the government tries to stay on top of these kinds of things? Yeah, I think it's so much of it is like that. I think that recently in one of his, I saw this in a Legal Eagle video, that recently Donald Trump was defending the fraud that he had engaged in by overvaluing his properties by saying that he could find a guy in Saudi Arabia who would buy his properties at any price, which is just a flagrant admission of foreign collusion to be like, ah, well, there are like Saudi, like, you know, princes who will essentially give me free money for nothing. So, maybe I wasn't doing fraud when I said this property is worth 15 trillion. You know, we'll get to that.
I think he said 60% of advertisers had left the platform or
Well, that's what
something.
Elon Musk said.
No, he said 60% of advertising revenue. He didn't say advertisers. But again, another point of distinction when you're talking about
Okay.
months and months old information. So 90% of the top 100 advertisers have returned to the platform. In the last
So what about the percentage of revenue? Because that's obviously what matters. Not the number of advertisers, but the percent revenue as made up by those advertisers. What have they gotten to?
12 weeks alone, about 1,500 have returned. So whether it is a small business or big brands, right, like AT&T, Visa, Nissan, all returning. Why are they returning? They are
She's not going to say, oh, dude, they're getting their ads back at way lower prices, aren't they? Twitter's evaluation price has gone down significantly. They left due to like instability of the platform, and now they're coming back being like, yeah, we'll take our ads back on your platform for like 1/4 the price you were selling them at before.
returning because of the power and significance of the platform,
So how much
the
do they pay 'em?
place that X has in this world.
So
Why?
do you have a stat on daily active users?
Yeah, I'm going to.
No, why wouldn't you press her on the amount they're being made? Why would you not? That's clearly what she's trying to get around. That's like so obviously the stat she doesn't want to talk about. Dude, really? Twitter ad numbers plummet. Visa bought just $10 in ads the last 12 weeks, according to report. Okay, well, that explains it. Twitter is essentially like, hey, us bleeding advertisers looks really bad. Can we just, for $10, we'll let you advertise on our platform just so we can say that Visa has come back to advertising on Twitter. Is this real? This feels like a joke. $10? This is a joke. This is a joke number. Visa bought $10 worth of advertising over the past 12 weeks, a 99.99% decline compared to the pre-Musk days. Yeah, so in case you're wondering why she's stressing that the advertisers have returned and not how much ad revenue has come back. Fact check from Media Matters. Is this too funny to be true? Is this too funny to be true? Oh no, it's agreeing with it. Okay, good. The majority of Twitter's top 100 advertisers pre-Musk have spent at least 90% less on ads in the past 12 weeks than they did in the 12 weeks before Musk took over. It's actually possible that it's like their total ad revenue has gotten worse than the initial estimate, than 60% of a loss. Like it's possible that right now they're down to like they're down to like a 70% loss, like 30% of the ad revenue they were getting before. I mean, because she's not being transparent with the Reuters reported that X's monthly US ad revenue has declined at least 55% year over year each month. Nice. Incredible.
Probably 200, 250, something like that.
So the stat when
We need to cut you an ad for Twitter. Yeah, I guess apparently for like $5, I can become a baron on Twitter. Yeah, I can be like one of the advertising Pumbas on Twitter.
Yoel, leave his facts.
No, this was when Musk took over. There were 237 million monetizable daily active users.
So listen to this. One of the reasons that I'm in the chair I'm in today, and in the chair I am at X leading the company.
Can somebody explain to me what kind of fashion this is, where you make your pantsuit jacket look like shit? I'm sorry, I'm new to fashion. Can somebody explain to me why there are threads that have been splayed out from the seam between the sleeve and the torso of the jacket, and why it looks like that? Is this just like a fashion style that I do? Maybe the ad revenue is really bad. This is like the nicest coat they could afford. It's not a new to fashion thing. It's just bad fashion. I don't get it, but okay.
Is because I knew,
like, look at that,
for the last decade, and you knew this, part of my old remit was to oversee. God.
Do you guys remember how back in like the 2010s, there would be that style where girls would wear like a long sleeved shirt, and underneath it there'd be a short sleeve shirt that would have like a higher collar, so you would see both of them at the collar line, and then they would try to sell shirts that had like a fake interior shirt. That's what she's wearing right now. Look, this is like the silhouette, or this is like the shape of a tuxedo coat, and then there's the vest, but they're both the same item. What is this? Like this look. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my god, yes. Like this. Yeah, it would be like a clip-on or like an included undershirt, but it's just clipped on. It's not real. Like there's no shirt under the shirt. It's just like a square of fabric. And that's what's happening right here with this like fake vest plus fake tuxedo suit. Look, this is a tuxedo suit. Look, it has the like penguin like flare out thing and it can't be buttoned to its why? Okay, sorry.
Last decade, and you knew this, part of my old remit was to oversee not only the advertising
True.
revenue for the company, but to look after all of our enterprise relationships, I still say all of the NBCU enterprise relationships, and Twitter was one of them. I specifically used the name Twitter, by the way, purposefully.
It looks like she's wearing a weird blazer and waistcoat combo that's been stitched together. It's not a tuxedo. No, it's obviously not a tuxedo. What I'm saying is that the outer, like the fake outer, like jacket is meant to resemble, or is it not a tuxedo? It's a dinner jacket. Is that? I think it might be dinner jacket and vest, like this. What are these outfits? When you look this up, holy shit! Or the outer, it's not meant to button together. It just like hangs off the side and then the vest buttons or whatever. Like that's what the flow of the okay. Never mind. It looks really bad and that's all that matters.
And that's when for 10 years and how I fell in love with the platform, because I knew, first of all, we all knew the trajectory of where broadcast cable television and usage and consumption was going. But this, powered by now X, was the only mechanism that could take the premium content business, live global events, news, when I used to sit in my office and watch you on.
Okay, dodging the question. Everyone says for me to go to this point in time.
But so then talk to me about this comment that Elon Musk made just a week ago saying he wanted to make it all subscription to fight the army of bots. And when I heard that news, I thought two things. Number one, I would be surprised if you, whose background is in free ad-supported content on all the
I think my
broadcast
background is being a very senior executive.
networks. Senior executive, but I would be
Okay. She's like preemptively dodging responsibility over this comment.
surprised if you didn't want to have some free version of X, and I'm curious if you agree, or if you think it all should be subscription based. And my question for you was, the two things I thought was, I would be curious to know if you thought that was a good plan, and second, how much he consulted you, because yes, you were brought in as CEO, that is your title, but you don't cover product.
Right.
All of the product teams
Right.
report to Elon Musk, and as a result of that, there's been a lot of.
Anyone in this room?
Can I finish? Please, wait, Linda,
sure,
let me finish.
Sure,
Please, let me finish.
Sure.
As a result of the fact that the product team does not report to you, the product team at Meta reports to Mark Zuckerberg, because the product team does not report to you, there has been speculation that you are in more of a COO role or a CBO role, a CEO in name only role.
You know what's funny is that we talk about that a lot at X. As you know, it's a very flat organization, and the teams are very empowered to perform at their highest levels. So I'm not sure what your definition of, or how you want to kind of wiggle me into an answer of, are you really just a COO or a, I don't know.
Dude, this woman is like a narcissist. Holy shit. If her job is just to be like the professional suit that tries to give everything a clean image while Elon Musk chews on wires back at HQ, that's one thing. But it seems like she's actively upset at the idea of like having a hand in any of this.
No, CEO in name only.
Okay, yeah, not nice. But that being said,
See, yeah, look, she's bristling.
that being said, I think what Elon and I talk about a lot, number one,
Just noticing the mama necklace. Don't like that at all.
always starts with the user experience, and that has to be primary. But I want to go back to your, he runs product, he runs technology, he leads a team of exceptionally talented engineers. And who's kidding who? I don't care what the structure is at Meta, but who wouldn't want Elon Musk sitting by their side running product?
I see you.
No wonder everyone is talking about this interview as disastrous. So the only thing that I can really think of here is that narcissists tend to attract other narcissists because there's like this there's like a toxic cycle of like the people most willing to give you adulation for what you're perceived to have done, and they do it for like their own benefit. I think that in her mind, she's probably like this Machiavellian girl boss who's doing and saying whatever she can do to climb to the top. But because, like Elon, she's transparently unlikable, it just kind of makes her come across like a lunatic, you know? Do you think she's his mommy Dom? She is hot. I mean, I'm not gonna I'll criticize her for a lot, but you know, I know where to draw the line.
Show of hands.
There may be a few show of hands to get the cute chuckles you're getting, but I would say the percentages in this room are about 99% who would say no to that, and 1% of maybe personal opinion,
So,
feelings.
notably, last week, Walter Isaacson came out with a book.
Did you read it?
I have not read. It's very long. I've not.
Yeah, she's incredibly unlikable. The way she responds, like, man, you have to know that Elon Musk appointed her, like, directly and specifically, like it was his choice and nobody else's, because they would have gone with somebody more likable otherwise. Like, normally CEOs are not this unlikable. For the most part, like, CEOs are jackasses, but they know how to smile for a camera and come across as likable. It's not that difficult. I don't know. Psychotic. Absolutely psychotic.
About the media business that you're building. I know that it says we're out of time, but if you're okay to keep going, I would like to keep going.
I'll wait till they come give me the hook.
Well, they're not going to give you the hook, Linda.
I
have hours more of questions here. I know you have places to be, but I would like to keep going. And I think specifically when it comes to why you are at X, I know it is to rebuild the relationship with advertisers. And I know I'd be remiss not to ask about the ADL. And we've had the head of the ADL on CBC multiple times. He reported, first he talked about how much he respected Elon Musk once Elon took over Twitter. And more recently, he talked about how he had a great productive meeting with you.
We did. That is in fact
which was
true.
Followed by Elon Musk saying he was threatening to sue the ADL.
I wish that would be different. We're looking into that.
So,
Oh, she does not want to step on this one. Holy shit. That's a minefield she's sort of delicately navigating.
do you?
I want to be clear about the situation.
Dude, does she not have media training? Why would you ever do this? Do you have any idea? This is like lesson 1, okay? If you want to be likable in public, do not literally attempt to silence your interviewer by holding a hand up like a parent. Why would you? This makes you look terrible.
Okay. So shortly after, maybe a day,
It's one of those subtle things that's kind of difficult to pick up on unless you know a bit about media training and how stuff like this is typically done. But there's a huge difference between what she just did, which is hold up, wait for silence, continue. That's terrible. Or doing something like a, whoa, 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 hold on, and like leaning into it a little bit, saying like, whoa, I have a point, because this one makes you look like a stern parent, which makes you look unlikable. And this one, where you're just trying to get a word in, makes it seem like you've got your hand raised in a class. It's an indication of like conciliation almost, like you're sort of suggesting like, whoa, 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 hold on a second, you know, that kind of thing. That's good to know. Thanks to media training. You're welcome.
after the transaction and acquisition of the company, the ADL, under Jonathan's leadership, came out with a letter, ecosystem-wide, suggesting that advertisers pause.
Well, was this the
on the
coalition
platform.
of 60 civil rights groups? Because there was, what I remember covering in November 2022 was 60 civil rights groups, including Color of Change, Media Matters, Free Press, and yes, the EDL. They did launch a campaign called Stop Toxic Twitter, but it was, they were releasing data.
You asked me specifically about the ADL.
Yeah.
So the ADL has been
This is rough, dude. I'd be surprised if she does any more interviews like this after this.
very consistent about suggested pausing of advertisers on then Twitter, continues into X. Those were related to Elon's comments about advertisers being down so significantly. The productive conversation I had with Jonathan, and I would hope that there will be productive conversations in the future, was about the need for the ADL to acknowledge all the progress that has been made now at X. And therein lies the moment that we're living in today. And when Jonathan continues to question the progress as it relates to anti-Semitism, it is disappointing that there is not equal time given to all the progress. As a matter of fact, did you get an alert on your phone about the spaces that Elon is doing tomorrow night?
I did not, but admittedly have not been on my phone today.
Okay. Well, Elon is co-hosting and participating in a Spaces tomorrow night with, I believe it's 9. It could have grown more. Very influential Jewish leaders in
Nothing. I have nothing to say. No notes.
the world to discuss anti-Semitism, the current state of the impact on culture, and how X can help.
So just,
So I will leave you with that.
but Linda, is this in
Wait, wasn't Ben Shapiro there? I think he was. I think that a lot of the people who were there were like conservative Jews who were like, "Oh yeah, we'll talk about how Twitter is actually great." Yeah.
response to the 100 Jewish leaders, including prominent rabbis and academics, releasing
You know, I
this
don't
letter?
believe so. I don't believe so. And again, what you're referencing,
Yeah.
I was just made aware of it today, and I
think
think
it
it was
came out
today.
yesterday. Or Monday,
I don't believe so. As you know, last week Elon also met with Prime Minister Netanyahu. So
Okay, yeah, so literally it's going to be like, okay, yeah, we may have received condemnations from 57,000 different civil rights orgs, but we've gathered an assembly of the world's worst Jews to agree. We have Ben Shapiro, we have some Orthodox rabbis who think that Palestinians are vermin who need to be exterminated. We have Netanyahu, the guy who is like currently attempting to crush Israeli democracy and believes and is a Holocaust denier. Well, Holocaust revisionist, not a Holocaust denier, but yeah.
that in conjunction with open conversations that we have with a lot of these groups, right? So whether it's the AJC or the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, we have an open, honest partnership relationship.
Seriously,
And if there's something that comes up that we're not perfect and we didn't catch, they DM me directly. They contact me so I could alert the trust and safety team. And we invite all of our partners to participate for the solution, to create a solution to benefit the people who are being harmed when things are...
Okay, she's nervous. She's not directly responding to the question. She's playing a lot with her hands, something she wasn't doing before. This is not a series of questions she wants to answer. I'm surprised she even allowed the question. She might have just said, like, I'm not at liberty to comment on that.
negotiated in the press for headlines. So imagine if we were able to take the conversation from a proactive, from a reactive one when some of the damage has already been done, and enable us to be proactive as partners to focus on the real solution. And I wish everybody would have that as their priority focus, because some of these groups have moved beyond the scope of their original mandate into activist organizations.
But Linda, to me, the way I saw you at NBC Universal is very conciliatory. That was part of your job. And the way I saw you meeting with Jonathan Greenblatt and having these meetings, very conciliatory. That is your reputation, is how I've known you.
Well, I'm a nurturer and a solution provider.
Nurturer? That's really the number one. Okay.
So let me finish the question.
Yeah, maybe the mommy dummy accusations were on the money here. What the
The fact that days after that meeting with Jonathan Greenblatt, Elon Musk threatens to sue the ADL makes me wonder if he's working in opposition to what you're doing, and it makes me wonder if you think that the ADL is defaming Twitter, and if it's a good idea for your partner in your company to be threatening that lawsuit.
I'll repeat what I said. The conflation of two different issues of what's going on at the ADL, which is the continuation of focusing on an advertiser ecosystem to pause at X without acknowledging progress, is the situation. When you reference my style of being very partnership-oriented, or use your word conciliatory, is because I've built a career on partnerships, knowledge, and hard work, right? That continues at X, okay? And I've also spent my entire career being candid and completely transparent. Ask anyone who's ever done...
So she's not going to answer this either. Okay, gotcha. So the only thing that we really get from this entire interview is like a psychiatric insight into her brain, and it's not looking good in there. Proof we can replace CEOs with cheaper AI. Thank you, Linda. Stop generating. Ha. Fantastic stuff. Didn't seem to know about Elon Musk's mandatory fee plan. Appeared to know nothing about Elon Musk's plan to impose a mandatory fee for using the platform. Yeah, they're not going to do that. It would destroy Twitter immediately. It was just something that Elon Musk offhandedly said. If they actually attempted to do that, it would end the platform immediately. There's no way. Absolutely no way. And for that reason, I hope they do it.